All right, good afternoon all. We finally got a couple of nice days of weather coming up here, so I'm going to get these guys out and do some spring tune-up work with them, get them ready for the clinic next weekend. And we got two new saddles in this spring to try out. First one here is on my little buddy Keno. He's just turning 4 next month, so he's kind of small framed right now. Still kind of colty. He hasn't grown into himself yet, but he's got on the J.C. Martin Ultralight, the new Ultralight that we just got in. These are in stock right now and listed on his page. It's full quarter horse bars, 7/8 flat plate rigging, all brass hardware on this saddle. And the thing I really wanted to see about this saddle was this saddle, it was all natural leather, so there's no dye jobs on this or no finishing or anything like that. It was just pure natural leather when I got it. I put first coat on it. You have to oil these up. They're going to darken when you oil them initially, but the first coat of oil I put on this saddle was leather new, just to get it to soak in. It's a little bit easier to work with and a little bit easier to keep even. And then the next coat I put on it was a leather balm made in Germany for English saddles. And it has some natural oils in it and some waxes to kind of seal up those pores and soak in. And then I've let it sit now for about 3 days. And you can see that it's lightened it back up again from the picture I got on my Facebook page where I first put the first coat of oil on it. And it should be about ready to go. Granted, it's a new saddle, so it's going to take some breaking in time to see what it looks like in the sun after, after we work with it here a little bit. But everything about this saddle I really like. I really like the looks of it. I'm just kind of a plain guy, and I like plain saddles. I like the fancy tooling on it. It's a nice looking saddle. But I like the natural leather finish, and that's really why I wanted to try this saddle. Everything else about this saddle is pretty much the same as all the other ones that we've gotten in. The quality's real good, the workmanship's real good. It fits well. Keno, like I said, Keno's a 4-year-old, coming 4-year-old quarter horse next month. He's got a real nice back and pretty typical withers for a young quarter horse. And it sits on him really well. But this will be the first time I've been able to ride an ultralight, because this is the first 16-inch ultralight we've gotten in. So all the rest of them have been ridden by my students, the 14 inches and the 15 inches. They've all been ridden by Vicky and the girls and some of my students. So this is the first opportunity I've got to be able to ride one. But we'll see here how it works out, because we'll see. Keno's a little bit froggy this morning. He's been eating good hay and getting introduced to pasture again this spring. Hasn't had a lot of work. I haven't rode him in a couple of weeks, and the reason why I haven't rode him in a couple of weeks is because my first clinic is a tune-up clinic, and I want to let folks know that I don't come into a clinic with a push-button horse that doesn't require some time and some work to get them thinking and paying attention again too. So he'll be on the same plane as everybody else out there this spring, where they need to do some groundwork and some shaping up and some round pen work with their horses and get them tuned up and thinking and ready to go, so that you can safely ride them and enjoy them the rest of the summer. One thing you will have to do with this saddle, and I've had to do it with all of them, is on the breast collar. The breast collar straps are really long, and they need some more holes punched in them. And also your your latigos are going to have more holes punched in them too. And I've only got a 28-inch cinch on this saddle, so you can tell. And Keno's not small, but that's a 28-inch cinch, and I've still got some adjustment I can get on it, but these rings sit a little deeper than a lot of them do. Now you would think, you know, I'm not going to get on him. That's what most people would think when they see him screwing around like that. They think he's mean and going to buck and carry on. And he might if you don't do your groundwork and work that stuff out of him. You know, and get him shaped up and listening to you. That's what he might do. Gets a little froggy, wants to burn some colty energy and mess around, and there ain't no sense in getting upset about it. You just need to get it worked through him, get him thinking and paying attention, and burn out some of that energy before you crawl on and ask him to think and do something. The other saddle we're going to be talking about today is Rick's new in-skirt rig roping saddle. It's a modified association tree. I've got that one sitting on my older gelding tucker over there, and we'll get to that one on the next video. But I took that one down to a stable the other day and did some saddle fitting on a couple of different horses with it, and it sits real well. It's really comfortable. So if you're not of a mind to necessarily have your heart set on a Wade saddle, you might want to consider that association tree saddle. Gives you some swells out in front if you're a little bit insecure. Looks good. Both these saddles have rough out seats in them, which gives you a little bit more security as well. Now, Keno is not completely worked down and settled here yet. He's going to have some froggy in him. But I think I'll be able to figure out what he's going to do and be able to head off anything bad. And we'll see how he does. First thing I want to do when I get on a horse that might be a little froggy is keep their head, get them pulled around, make sure that I got those hindquarters and I can get them stopped and get those hindquarters free before I let them take off and go anywhere and do anything. So you can see this saddle fits real nice on him. It's a little bit sloppy right now because it needs breaking in. The cinches are going to stretch. It's a brand new cinch, brand new latigos. And everything has to settle in to the particular horse you're riding and get broken in before you're going to truly know how it sits. But I really like it. It sits pretty good. I have a tendency to ride a little bit heavy in my left-hand stirrup and drag my saddle to the left a little bit. So I have to adjust my stirrup leathers accordingly so that I don't put as much weight into my left-hand stirrup as I do my right-hand stirrup. There we go. Now he's settling down. The one thing that I really wanted on one of the saddles from Rick was the Cheyenne roll. Not to grab a hold of it like a lot of people do, but I just like the looks of the Cheyenne roll. And I'm going to ask him, we're going to We're coming out with 2 saddles this fall. One's the Smokie Brannaman Special, which is going to be an ultralight saddle. And I've had a picture up on it. The Smokie Special, or the Brannaman Special this fall, is going to be a heavier working saddle. And it's going to have a wooden rawhide tree in it, made for working, not for lightness. It's made for working and roping and doing a job in. And I'm thinking I'm going to ask him if he can design that saddle around this particular pattern of this ultralight. Natural leather, wooden rawhide tree, Cheyenne roll, exposed stirrup leathers. And then I'll quit pinging on him for changes for a while until he sends me something new. So, but there you go with this saddle. You also get a little bit of work with spring tune-up on how to get your horse settled down a little bit and get him working for you. But like I say, these saddles are in stock right now, so you might want to go check them out. If you want an ultralight saddle that's really nice looking and going to do a job for you, these are also rope and rated. So have a good day. We'll talk to you in a little bit with this other saddle.